Ever wanted to make a delicious dessert without an oven? Well, today we are making a no-bake Oreo cheesecake. A delightful treat that's rich, creamy, and incredibly easy to make. It's the perfect dessert for any occasion, and the best part? It requires no baking. Let's get into the ingredients for this mouth-watering dessert. We'll need 14 Oreos to create a crunchy base that complements the creamy cheesecake layer. To bind our crust together, we'll use 40 grams of melted, unsalted butter. The star of our show, the cheesecake filling, is made from 200 grams of cream cheese, 25 grams of sugar, and the filling from our Oreos. To ensure our cheesecake sets properly, we'll be using 4 grams of gelatin dissolved in 20 milliliters of cold water. And lastly, to bring a fluffy lightness to our cheesecake, we'll whip up 200 grams of whipping cream. Now that we have all our ingredients ready, let's move on to the preparation. Step 1 is to prepare our Oreo crust. We'll start with 14 Oreos, and here's a fun part: separating the cookies from the filling. Remember, resist the temptation to snack on the filling just yet, as we'll be using it for the cheesecake layer. Once you've got your cookies separate, it's time to crush them. You can use a Ziploc bag for this, but remember not to overdo it. We're aiming for a crumbly texture, not dust. Next, we'll add 40 grams of cooled, melted, unsalted butter into the bag. Give it a good squeeze to make sure the butter is fully absorbed into the cookie crumbs. Then we'll transfer our mixture to a round mold. We're going to press it down firmly to create a solid base for our cheesecake. Be gentle though, we don't want a hard crust. Finally, we pop the crust in the fridge to chill. While our crust is chilling, we'll prepare our cheesecake filling. Scene script. Next, we're going to make our smooth and creamy cheesecake filling. This is where the magic happens, folks. Here's what you need to do. Firstly, let's tackle the gelatin. Take 4 grams of gelatin and add it to a small bowl containing 20 milliliters of cold water. This process is called blooming the gelatin. Leave it aside for about 15 minutes, allowing it to expand and soak up the water. While our gelatin is blooming, let's move on to the cream cheese. We need 200 grams of room temperature cream cheese. It's important that the cream cheese is at room temperature to ensure a smooth and creamy texture. Use a whisk to break it down and smooth it out. This will prevent any lumps when we combine it with the other ingredients. Now, add in 25 grams of sugar. Remember, there's no need to reduce the sugar content. This recipe is already on the lighter side. Now remember the Oreo cream we saved earlier? It's time to bring it into the mix. Add the Oreo cream into the bowl and give everything a good whisk until it's well combined. By this time, our gelatin should have bloomed. To dissolve it, place the small bowl in a larger bowl filled with boiling water. Wait for around 5 minutes until the gelatin has completely melted. Once it's cool, pour it into our cream cheese mixture. It's time to whip up some fun. Pour 200 grams of whipping cream into a bowl and whisk it until it forms soft peaks. Remember, don't over-whisk or it will turn into butter. Finally, fold the whipped cream into the cheese mixture. Be gentle. You don't want to knock out all the air you've just whisked into the cream. The end result should be a smooth and slightly thick cheesecake filling. Now we have our creamy cheesecake filling ready. Let's get our crust and start assembling. Now comes the fun part, putting it all together. First, we're going to take our chilled Oreo crust out of the fridge. Next, we'll pour about half of our creamy cheesecake mixture onto the crust. Smooth it out gently, ensuring it's evenly distributed. Now, for the surprise inside, we're going to add some whole Oreos. 6 should do the trick. Space them out, avoiding the very center to ensure a pleasant surprise in every slice. Once our Oreos are in place, we'll pour over the rest of our cheesecake mixture, again smoothing it out gently. For the final touch, we'll garnish with some crushed Oreos. Sprinkle them generously over the top, creating a deliciously crunched topping. And there you have it, a delicious no-bake Oreo cheesecake. All that's left now is to chill it in the fridge until it's set, and then it will be ready to serve.